Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be taking a little dive into r/AmITheDevil. So, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in listening to with me today and you want to judge some big old gaping spicy fiery bort holes, then please do stick around and enjoy. And don't forget to like and subscribe, please, thank you. And of course, quick disclaimer, any comments, opinions that I make on these posts are my opinions and just that, they're not facts, do not need to be taken as such. If you have a differing opinion, please do feel free to share it in the comments. It's always good to get a different perspective. Just make sure you're keeping it respectful. There is no need to be mean to anybody who doesn't have the same opinion as you or myself. With that being said, let's get started then, shall we? So this first one was reposted by Fancy and Fab, and it says, imagine being this insecure. Am I the borthole for kicking a server out of my wedding? So this is from Am I the borthole, if you hadn't already guessed by the title of it. I, 25F, and my husband, 30M, and I got married last Friday. We planned our dream wedding down to our dream catering company. The wedding was beautiful. After the pictures, we headed to our cocktail hour, and that's when I saw her. My guests were all told to wear dark colours, so my husband and I stood out. I also asked my guests to wear minimal makeup. I had assumed that applied to the staff too. I mean, to be honest, asking your guests to wear minimal makeup to me is already a bit of an overstep. You can absolutely say, look, this is the theme for the wedding, you know, darker colours. And I know some people are going to agree with me, but I actually think that's okay. Because, yeah, some people want a bit of a theme. Like, there's people that literally go ahead and have a Shrek-themed wedding and ask people to come in Shreky colours. And it's supposed to be the fun and the enjoyment of getting involved. Where I think it's fucking ridiculous is when then it's like, you have to wear minimal makeup. I'm sorry. You really can't tell people what they can put on their own skin. You know, next it's going to be you can't have coloured hair, you can't have tattoos. Like, it's leaning into ridiculous Bridezilla territory there, I feel. Personally, that's the way I see it. When it's your bridal party, you could say, yeah, bridal party needs to be in, you know, minimal makeup or like a classy vibe of makeup, or I don't know, like if you want to have a party wedding, I don't know, like you gotta come with rave makeup for your bridesmaid makeup. I don't know. That I think is fine, because then anyone who doesn't want to do that can say, well, actually, I'd rather not and I'll just be a guest. But yeah, when it comes to your guests, you can't tell them that they have to have minimal makeup. And especially, because we all know where this is going, you can't control what the servers wear to your wedding as far as makeup. Anyway, as long as they're keeping it professional and their boss is okay with it, you don't really get all that much of a say. The server, 19-ish F, had on clearly too much eyeliner. Oh, heaven forbid. She also had diamond studs in her ears, a flashy ring, and one of those ugly nose studs. The staff's uniform was a black long-sleeve shirt, but on her it was too low cut, and her pants were far too tight. It was super distracting. She was walking around serving drinks and talking to my guests. I asked another member of staff to speak to their boss when their boss came out, and I pointed out the server and asked that she be dealt with because she was super distracting. Their boss apologised and called the server back into the kitchen. Now I do wonder, was this server really super distracting, or was it only this bride who was so bothered by it? I feel it was only her. I don't honestly think that any of the guests were that, oh my goodness, by it, because clearly she was talking to the guests. The guests were enjoying having a little convo with her, you know? Not even an hour later, the server was back out serving food for dinner. I called the boss over again and asked if the server could work in the back or go home. Her boss said they were short-staffed tonight, so she would see what could be done. After a couple of hours of not seeing her, I saw the server again behind the bar. I called the boss out one last time and told her if the server didn't leave, I would be calling the cops. Calling the cops. Okay, Right, you can have your opinions on whether or not you believe wearing a stud earring, a ring, and a nose stud is professional or not. I think it's fucking ridiculous that that should even be a thing that's seen as not professional, as long as, you know, they are not ridiculously over the top and falling out into the drinks. You know, I personally, in my opinion, don't think tattoos or piercings are unprofessional. So yeah, like, whether you agree with them being unprofessional or not, and whether you think the OP is in their rights to be annoyed by her presence, I feel like the bride has actually just zeroed in on someone she wants to have a problem with this evening, and there is a possibility that her husband is marrying a Karen. Because calling the cops over someone who she doesn't like the appearance of. Like, she nitpicked everything, and I'm not sure if this person is a reliable witness with how they're going on about now wanting to call the cops over checks notes, diamond stud earrings, a little too much eyeliner, maybe a protruding cleavage, although do we really believe that it's actually protruding, or does the woman just have, you know, abundance in the chestal area and too tight of pants for her liking? Goodness me. The boss finally relented and told the girl to go home. Clearly the boss even thinks that this woman is being ridiculous, because the boss, like, normally, like, in these sorts of establishments, the bosses bend over backwards to make sure, like, the bride and groom are happy. My husband and mother-in-law said I was acting crazy, there we go, and that I probably got a poor college kid fired over nothing. So the guests weren't distracted. The guests didn't mind, like, because they think she's being a Fruit Loop doing this. So, no, the guests weren't distracted. She was distracted because she decided she wanted to have a problem with somebody. My mother and maid of honour said it's my wedding, so I can do as I please. It's my wedding, and I don't want someone overshining me, and the server should know she's at work and not to dress up so much. Mate, it's your wedding. Like, how is a server overshining you at your own wedding? This is, like, in a way, I do feel sorry for the OP, because this, to me, shines a light on some major insecurity issues that I think she has. Again, just what I think from looking at it from an outside looking in perspective. So in a way, I do feel sorry for her, but my goodness, love, take the stick from up between your cheeks and enjoy yourself. Stop worrying over what a server's pant size is. And by the way, saying pants for trousers always makes me feel dirty as a Brit. I do feel kind of bad because she was pretty young. Am I the ass? Yes, you are, my love. I feel like you just wanted to pick an issue with someone that evening. Like, I can't imagine what a policeman would say if he showed up to the wedding and was like, okay, Miss Lady, what's the problem? And she's like, she has too much eyeliner on and she won't leave. He's probably gonna roll his eyes and think, I ain't getting paid enough for this. So, down in the comments, Cantor Circle says, I called the boss out one last time and told her if the server didn't leave, I would be calling the cops. As a 911 dispatcher, this would make my fucking year to get a bridezilla demanding officers respond to her wedding over a server doing her job. Oh, I bet. Wild. And then OK Jackfruit 9393 says, the server is too pretty. Send the police. Yeah. I hope the server didn't lose her job over this woman's insecurities, to be honest, or just this woman deciding she wanted to pick a fight with somebody and it just happened to be her. Because that's so sad. And imagine at 19 years old, you are very self-conscious, or at least, most 19-year-old girls are very self-conscious and, not so sure about themselves yet, haven't built that kind of sense of self, to then be sent home because of your appearance. Like, that is not gonna do that poor girl's mental health any favors, I imagine. So I hope she didn't get fired and she's doing okay. And I hope this husband, I hope he knows what he's doing. Okay, then next post posted by Wheels Up in 30. What the F, they say. What the F indeed by some of these. So, the original post was posted in Am I the Butthole, and they want to say, I asked for cheddar cheese in my sandwich. Incident first, then context. Last year, my partner and I were running errands and needed groceries. We were living near Buffalo, NY, and went to Wegmans, a large corporate chain like Kroger or Nando's. Nando's I do know. Hate it though. They had a cafe eating area with sandwiches like a Subway, and we really needed lunch. I stood in line, read the menu, and after waiting for a lady to finish a complicated order, gave a simple one: ham with cheddar and pickles. The sign warned me they didn't have cheddar, so I said, cheddar or the next closest thing, mate. The sign says they don't have cheddar. Why are you even saying cheddar or the next closest thing? Just say, what would be closest to cheddar? And then they will say, this would be closest to cheddar in my humble opinion. And then you will say, yes, I want that, or no, I don't. And then everyone moves on with their lives, and everyone's happy, and la 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 la. Oh my God. The worker replied with a list, including American, which was not on the menu either, saying they didn't offer anything with artificial ingredients. I nodded and repeated my request, so you didn't answer back to the options then, no. The worker wasn't sure what to do and offered the manager. I accepted and stood off to the side so other people could order. A few minutes later, the manager/chef comes out in a fucking toque. What is a toque? Like, he's not at a grocery store. He says, no, they do not offer cheddar. I acknowledged this and repeated, cheddar or the most cheddar-like alternative. Ah! I applaud service staff that work in the food industry particularly because, oh my life. Oh my life! He continued to go on about their menu, and I maintained my stance calmly. Our stalemate was as follows, and we both acknowledged it. Mate, they are giving you options because they don't want to choose for you, because the fact that you're refusing to say, and you're just going, cheddar or a cheddar-like alternative, shows you're going to be a pain in the arse, and they do not want to be deciding for you. If they're giving you the options, just say, yes, that one sounds the best for me. I'll have that, please. How is that so hard? I feel like I'm losing my mind. The manager/chef suggested provolone, but refused to order it unless I agreed and requested it. Yeah, makes sense. And I was willing to accept it, but refused to request it. He said he wouldn't order an ingredient I didn't want, and I repeated, I would like cheddar or the most cheddar-like alternative. He said I was being difficult to make a point, yep. And I said that was correct. That's where I'd be like, get the fuck out. As the manager, be gone. Eventually, he re-offered provolone, checked that I acknowledged his assessment of it being the best alternative, and ordered the sandwich to be finished. We each left, I paid, and my partner and I ate. If I was your partner, I would be like, mate, you do that again, and I am never eating out with you again. Which brings us to the further context. I am mildly autistic and get hangry. Not an excuse for being an arsehole to people though, is it? Let's be real. Like, that's no excuse. Especially when out shopping. And the fact that the OP admits that they were being awkward just to prove a point shows this ain't got nothing to do with autism, my love. It's to do with you being an awkward bar steward. Meat, cheddar, and pickles are my same food. Oh, I think they mean safe food. I could tell from the menu that this was going to be an issue and anticipated being offered American cheese, but they didn't actually do that. I did my best to be calm and polite, but assertive. You did your best to be awkward. I think the manager/chef could have just grabbed some $3 cheddar from the shelves, or just ordered the provolone or American if it was actually there without a fuss. Yes, but you need to say that's what you want. They can't decide for you. That said, I also acknowledge this is the pettiest thing I've done in a long time. And even though it's a year old, my partner feels like I was a major jerk. I agree with your partner. And I feel like it was a silly autism story. No. See, these are the kinds of things that give people with autism a terrible name and get them judged and get people saying, oh, you're just using it as an excuse for this, that, and the other when they have actual legitimate problems. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not an excuse. Yes, it can be very difficult to make decisions when you have autism. I know. I have an autistic child. We have back and forths over food a lot. But, you know, it's no excuse for being purposefully awkward when you know you could just say, yes, that's what I want. Like, what were you trying to prove with this? This is the thing that I'm very confused about. What was the OP even trying to prove with this? Am I the butthole, or the chef, or everyone? You, my love, you. So then they put in little, like, is it an asterisk? I think it might be. I don't know. My brain ain't working today. I'm just... static. So, dill pickles like hamburgers. None of this pickle spear on the side nonsense. I do agree with that. That pickle spear, which is, well, over here, if it's like a kebab shop and they say pickle, green pickle, it's like a pickled chili. I don't want that. I want a pickled gherkin. So I just keep gherkins at home now. So if I get a takeaway, I can put my own gherkins on. And then two more little maybe possibly asterisks, can't remember, says, at Subway, the workers just say, we don't have cheddar. Is American okay? And I say yes, and we move on. Sometimes they don't ask and just put the yellow cheese on, and that's fine. I can adjust my cheese preferences to suit what is available. And then three more little stars saying provolone is not a cheddar-like alternative. I blame this whole thing on NY Deli's idea of what a sandwich should be. I blame this on you being awkward. You could have just said, no, I don't want that, or yes, I want that, and moved on. So, down in the comments, welcome to Brooklandia says, my favourite part of this story is how OOP goes out of his way to be snarky about the Wegmans deli, but then finishes his post by calling Subway a better alternative. You cannot expect us to take you seriously when you're talking that kind of nonsense. I don't know, I've never been to Wegmans, we don't have that here. But I will say that Subway is just really subpar, pardon the pun. And then Strangled in Moonlight says, the workers of Subway do not give a fuck. They just want this guy out. Yeah, they see him come in and they're like, no, quick, just make the sandwich, make it however you have to and get them gone. Okay then, last post and fingers crossed for my sanity. This one was shared by Antoinette L3 and they say the title is, wow. So we have another Am I the Butthole original, and this one says, Am I the butthole for demanding my girlfriend tells me her author's pen name? I've, M32, been dating Siobhan, F32, for 6 months now. She's always been very vague about what she does for a living, saying things like writing and working from home writing. But recently, one of her friends mentioned something, and I finally dragged it out of her. She's an author. She writes and self-published romance and erotica and novels, and while not rich, she's able to make a living out of it. I googled her name and I couldn't find anything, so I confronted her about this. She said she's writing under a pen name, so I demanded that she gives it to me so I know what she does. She refuses, saying she doesn't want it to be leaked, even by accident, and no one knows. Absolutely fair, because the thing is, 6-month relationship, don't know them that well, could it end up going down the poo tube? Yes, it could. Do you want to be giving them that information that they could then spread around? No, you do not. I get that. I 100% get it. I accused her of not trusting me, and she still refused, which was really annoying. I tried a nicer approach and told her that I want to know her fantasies, so I can try it out with her. Yeah, but I think a lot of erotica writers aren't writing their own fantasies, they're writing their readers' fantasies, you know, so they can sell their books. And she told me that what she writes aren't her fantasies, but her readers. There we go. Thank you. And she's still not going to tell me. At night, I tried to check her laptop for a pen name, but she changed her password before bed. She clearly knew you were going to try, and you are proving yourself to be very untrustworthy now, OP. Oh, goodness. I was annoyed and told her that she clearly doesn't trust me. Heavens forbid, I couldn't understand why. And it's not fair because I have a right to know what she writes, especially since it's a sensitive topic. And I don't know her if I don't know her pen name. I disagree, strongly disagree. I don't know, others might feel different, but I don't think the OP needs to know any of that. Like, it's just stuff that the OP writes that they know their readers will like. Like, who cares? She was furious I tried to look on her laptop and told me to go home. Before leaving, I told her when she calls to apologise, I expect to get her pen name with the apology. She called me an asshole on my way out. I don't think you're getting that apology, my love. Or the pen name. I thought she'd call by now, but she hasn't. My sister told me that I was the a-hole and I should apologise, but I just don't see it and need second opinion. Was I the butthole? Yeah. You don't need it. And you've only been together 6 months. I completely understand why. If she's someone who writes under a pen name, it's because she wants to remain very private. Possibly she doesn't want family finding books where she's writing about pure smut, I imagine. And you know, maybe it's because she's quite popular. Her writings are quite popular, and she doesn't want people then knowing who she is and then having all of that, you know, unwanted attention, because unfortunately, even writers get weirdo stalkers, you know? So I understand why she wouldn't want to. And then you just went and proved yourself untrustworthy by doing all that, to be honest. I imagine over time that the OP's missus would have gone and given him the info, you know, after they'd been together a while and they knew they could trust him. But yeah, he went and absolutely stuffed it for himself, didn't he? So, down in the comments, Trash Gouda says, lol, he went behind her back to snoop through her laptop but couldn't, and then accusing her of not trusting him after proving she can't trust him. Exactly. And demand the audacity. I hope they broke up and she is successful with her writing. Me too. And then Martin is in murder says, yup, and then thinking he has been wrong and expecting an apology. The audacity. I expect the pen name with the apology. Girl, bye. What a douche. I'm wondering if he is still waiting for that apology. He probably is. He probably still believes that he is, you know, deserving of that apology. And he's just there patiently waiting, like, any minute now, she's gonna come through that door and beg for my forgiveness. I wouldn't hold your breath. You'll turn blue. So I'm just editing this now and I realised that last commenter, I said their username was Martin is in murder. It says flipping martinis and murder. Oh my goodness. Honestly, sometimes I get concerned with myself. So, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you lost your sanity with me all the way to the end, then I do apologise, but thank you kindly, of course. Don't forget to leave an offering of a comment for Big Al. I don't know what you can tell him to do. I don't know, just waffle on in the comments about anything. He likes them, he really does. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn your notifications on, because that is your initiation into the Coven of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of the day. Goodbye!